Broadcast live.
Out here with David from Audiomack.
That's right.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. Firstly, please introduce yourself. I mean like David Ponte, but like let the people know who you are at Audiomack, so they could connect the dots.
So I'm David Ponte. I'm the co-founder and CMO of Audiomack. It's a music discovery and app and platform where artists can upload their music for free, and it's a place where fans can discover those artists and have a great listening experience.
I mean, when I first saw Audiomack, it was obviously like a while ago, and it was more like a platform from the States, right? What made you guys really break into like Africa, and what's the interest? What's your plan for Africa? I know Nigeria has been very kind to you guys, but what's your plan for Africa in general?
So really, around 2017, 2018, we started to see, in our analytics, a lot of people in Africa using the app. Around that time, there was a lot of blogs that people would download music, and I think people wanted to listen to music offline. That's one of our key features, is that you could take songs offline, so you don't need data to stream them, and that it's also doesn't cost any money to take them offline. So that's a nice value proposition that we've always had, and people in particularly West Africa, Nigeria and Ghana, they started to just use the app like crazy.
Yeah.
All the artists started to put their music on there, and then we just leaned into it. It was sort of at the same time that Afro beats was really started to become popular, and we accelerated that, especially in the United States and in Canada and UK as well, where we're pretty big, even in the Caribbean like Jamaica. So. We just saw that, and then once we sort of follow where our users are, right? So even in South Africa here, Nasty C, dropped one of his tapes around that time, and we started to grow a lot here. There's a very interesting rap scene here, so that fit in well with our U.S. users. And once we see that, we try to reach out to artists, reach out to distributors, get all the music on the platform that we can. See what people are searching for, and just try and deliver a good experience to those people.
When you were founding Audiomack, I mean, what was the initial plan? There's always like, this is what I think this thing is gonna be, and then you get into it, and it's like, wait, So what was the initial plan, and how have you moved from the initial plan? And is it the positive trajectory, or whatever? What was it?
So when we started it, it was 2012. It was just a website at the time. My partner Dave Mackley, he's the CEO. I would say that he's definitely the visionary. He sees like 3 steps ahead. So I follow his lead there, but. In terms of how the music was curated and how you would discover music, probably came from me a little bit, where I'm just a huge music fan. I would go on music blogs, and we call that the blog era back then. And I know blogs are still popular here, and that's great. But if it was just a way to discover music, sort of pre-streaming, but it was sort of cumbersome, where you would have to search a lot of different blogs. You'd have to download songs, put them in your iPhone, your iTunes or whatever, and you wouldn't even be able to listen to it before you'd have to download it and then listen and then decide if you liked it. So, not the best process, right? So we recognized that this was a problem, and it was a problem that I was having. So a lot of entrepreneurs, that's how they start out. They're trying to solve a problem that they have personally. So. We did this. We worked with a couple of other of our founders who do more of the technical stuff, and we sort of put it together. We did not think it was going to turn into what it did. It was sort of just like, hey, if we can make like some money on the side, and help artists put their music out, that's a win. So it was a couple of years later that we all went full time on it, and then we started to hire people around 2015. Around that time, trap music became really popular. It's like Atlanta trap. So a lot of people were going to Audiomack for like, Future, his mixtape run there, like with Monster. and some of the other ones, 56 Nights. So Young Thug, that whole scene. A lot of people discover those artists on Audiomack. So, you know, those were the first few years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And as you evolve, I mean, from the trajectory, let's say in the States, and with all the work that's done, all of the streaming companies start waking up to offline, to is it offlining? It's getting your music offline, right? Playing your music.
Yeah, like downloading
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
we say offline. It's like
Yeah,
a little,
yeah. So when they move, did you guys ever see yourself actually in a competitive space with like the streaming platforms as is? How do you guys rate yourself when it comes to the operations that both of them are doing?
Honestly, I'm probably surprised about how well we're doing a lot, to some degree. Um, I only say that not because I lack confidence in our team. That's certainly not it. It's because of just how well resourced the other streaming platforms are. I mean, Apple Music is the biggest company in the world, and they don't care if they make money necessarily with Apple Music. The point is to sell phones, which they do pretty good at. Spotify obviously is a $1 billion plus company. Even SoundCloud is has a lot of money and has a lot of investors. YouTube is YouTube. So these are all options that people could go to instead of Audiomack, but people still come because we provide a unique experience. You could discover different types of artists. It's a lean forward experience. Where I would say some of the other companies I mentioned are a lean back experience, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you're big into music and you want to discover new artists and be like the tastemaker among your friend group, Audiomack is probably where you would find a lot of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. As you are speaking, it's becoming more of a discovery
Yeah.
conversation. But like it's a very fascinating story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Audiomack story. And how do you guys choose? I'm sure you mentioned that like the investors, for some of these companies like Spotify, et cetera, SoundCloud. How do you guys choose who invests and who doesn't invest? I mean, what is the thinking around the type of partners that you eventually get on board?
We've raised some money, but nowhere near the other companies. We've always ran the business like we were trying to like make profit, which sounds crazy, but a lot of businesses don't operate like that. They get invested. It's all about growth and revenue. It's not about profit. So we always sort of operated the business, thinking that there wasn't someone that was going to bail us out at any point. We wanted to just have a good cash flow and. Obviously, pay the artists is a big part of our value proposition. So we have thousands of artists around Africa, who used our Creator app, upload their music via the Creator app, and then they withdraw their streaming revenue via the Creator app. So it's all one just app you could do. We know that a lot of people don't have laptops, and you could make a song on your phone. You could upload your music. You could get paid all on your phone. So. That's hasn't always been like that. It's only since the last few years that you've been able to do that. So I think if you just try to think about who's invested in your business as a stakeholder, and you're just providing value to them, you will grow from there.
What are you looking to do, or even connect? Because you lean forward. You're in South Africa right now. You had an event. You've worked with Nasty C. You partnered with him on his previous mixtape also that he just dropped. What are the intentions for South Africa? What can a South African artist look forward to or do on Audiomack and go, okay, this is what's out here for us right now?
I think if you're an artist, the Creator app is I would highly recommend it. You could still use our desktop website, audiomack.com, and you could access your Creator dashboard from there. There's so many great tools in there to get better as an artist, to get smarter. Our analytics, if you're an artist and you upload your song, you share with your friends, you could then submit it to our curators. which I'm one of them. Where we have dozens around the world. We have I think 15 in Africa alone, and we have 2 or 3 in South Africa. So the way if you submit it, it'll get in front of them, and they'll listen to it. If they like it, they'll put in some playlists. They'll put it in our trending section. These are all ways to get more plays and to get more fans. So once you get some plays, you could look in your advanced stats, and you could see where people are playing your music. So a lot of the American artists are always surprised to see that they have so many Nigerian fans, and they love it. And a lot of them have went there to do shows or to work with the artists. So you could sort of glean insight like that, where it's like, all right, maybe I could hit up a booking agent in this area, or this song has been added to more playlists than that song, so maybe this is a song that is resonating better, and we'll make a video. Like, it could just help you make so many more decisions. It could see what type of playlist you are in. So if you see that you're in the same playlist as a lot of artists, maybe you want to collab with that artist, or maybe you should tour with that artist because you have an overlapping fan base. These are all free in the app or on the dashboard, and we're going to consistently, innovate and add more features. We also have supporters. So if you have fans that wanted to support one of your songs, they could buy a badge. That money goes to the copyright holder or the artist, and the user who bought the badge gets to put it on their profile. They're on your account. I supported this artist, and you're able to message them directly and say, "Hey, thanks for being a supporter of mine. Here's a discount on merch," or "Hey, here's a song that isn't out yet. Let me know what you think. I want my supporters to hear it first." Like, there's a lot of things that if you just take some time and look in, like, there's a lot of different ways that you could engage your fan base and increase your fan base.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just imagining, just with regards to the development of all the work that goes into Audiomack. How big is your development team?
It's like, I don't know, we might have like 25 or 30.
Yeah.
I don't know the number. It might be different.
Yeah.
They'll watch this and be like, that's way off. No, but we have our developers all over the world. We have developers in Africa, and in Colombia, and Europe, and obviously United States. So our developers are all over the place, and they work crazy hours. And as long as they get the job done, that's okay. But they're really talented, and we're lucky to have them, because they could compete with the companies that have 300 developers, 1,000 developers. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of platforms out there to get your music out, and if there was one thing that you had to say, this is why you have to use Audiomack as a user, A, as a user, B, as a music creator, what would that be?
I would say, as a user or a listener, our 3 main value propositions, or our main utilities, is you could take songs offline. It's free to use the app and listen. It's ad supported, so you will see ads, but hopefully not, tasteful, not too many.
You're from an ad background.
I'm an ad guy, but trust me, I'm against our sales team sometimes. I say there's too many ads. You're hurting my growth. But we have a nice balance, I think. You can subscribe. It's I don't know what the number in South Africa is, but it's $5.99 US. I think it's less here. It's different for every country, but so you can subscribe and get a lot of cool functionality. Obviously, no ads. But the third thing for a user would be just the discovery experience, right? So there's a nice blend of a manual curation from our curators that are mentioned, and our algorithms. So if you're in Pretoria and you don't open up the app, you will see South African playlists, Pretoria playlists that are curated by our curators, and also, like, for example, our weekly 100, the top 100 songs in South Africa for the week. Or maybe if you're interested in music in Nigeria, you could go to that. We call them weekly 100. So you could go to Zimbabwe, you could go any country in Africa, or even if you want to just see US, you could see what people there are listening to. And it changes every week. So artists want to move up those rankings. and get discovered by more people. I think in South Africa, you could probably get on the between 50 and 100 on that chart, with 10,000 plays, 20,000 plays in a week, which is not insurmountable for a lot of artists. So you'll be up there with, a lot of the big artists here. So those would be the best things as a listener. A lot of people have other, Spotify, Apple Music, and Audiomack. If you can afford to subscribe to Spotify, you could still have Audiomack, and it's going to provide a different experience.
Yeah.
It's less like, what the computer says you should listen to, and more like, let's discover some artists together. As an artist, I would say those things I mentioned earlier. The Creator app, it's just a very valuable resource. You put your music on all platforms. I'm not saying only use Audiomack. If you use a distributor, chances are it goes to Audiomack and will be mapped to your profile. So if you use a distributor, and you can upload and do both and manage your account and have your songs distributed. So it's not too many other platforms are like that. You can't really upload music and have it distributed. That's a cool thing. The Creator dashboard, and really just a community. One of our goals is to increase the ways that you can interact with other people on the app, whether it be artists or fans. Our goal is to build a community there, and be able to network with different artists from around the globe. So those are some things that are coming up, but there's just no reason not to use the app, right? Because there's a lot of people on it, and those people tend to be ones that are more like the tastemaker in their group or the influencer in their group. They're the ones who go to shows, and want to be super passionate about music. So if I'm an artist, I want those as my fans, right?
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Yo, we out here. Thanks for coming through, man, and just giving us a little and expanding the music platforms, because I think that's one thing that people underestimate, the power of music. You know what I mean? Yeah. So shout out to Audiomack. I've been seeing the platform. I think if you guys started it in 2012, I started Slikour Live in 2013. Wow. So I used to embed a lot of content from a lot of links from your guys' platforms also. When I used to be the one who was tapping.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, number one, your support over all the years. Our embed, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's pretty cool. I mean, you can embed any song on your website.
Playlists.
And it's clean, it'll work easy. Other embeds, you click on it and it goes, oh, go to this site. And it's like, if you're a publisher, you don't want people leaving your site. So a lot of embed traffic and a lot. So I appreciate that. That's a lot. Thank you.
Shout out, man. Yo, we out here. You know what it is, Mr. David. Thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks, Slikour.
Good luck. Let's go, Audiomack.
Broadcast live